Hey there, nerdy goblins. I am the Goblin King. It's Thursday, and that means it's time for another anime review. The one I picked for this week was another one from this winter season that I was quite excited for. So much so, in fact, that I actually went back and watched the initial season over again when I heard the second one would be dropping, just to refresh myself on the story and all. So, yeah, this week's anime is a second season, a legit second season, unlike the Mushoku Tensei review, which was apparently not a second season, but just the second half of the first season. At least that's what someone in the comments for that vid told me. I assume they know more about the particulars than I do, so I'm listening. I just watch the things, after all. I don't get into the minutiae. As an aside, another one I'm excited for is the second season of Rising of the Shield Hero, which premiered this week. Which leads me to a question, actually, and perhaps some of you will answer it in the comments section. Do you all prefer me going through the entire season of an anime in a review, like I'm doing now, or would you rather I do it episode by episode, the way I've seen others do them? I'll go ahead and throw the same question out on the various social media platforms I'm on too. But if you all have a preference, just let me know. Anyway, tangent over. Tonight's anime is the second season of Arifureta, From Commonplace to World's Strongest. Alright, a quick breakdown of both seasons will follow here. Those of you familiar with the first season can probably grab a snack or something while I break that down real quick. The anime follows Hajime Nagamo. He and his entire class are transported to another world to fight in a war with the obligatory demon race. During a training exercise in the nearby dungeon, however, Nagamo is betrayed by one of his classmates and left to die in one of the lower levels of the dungeon filled with powerful monsters. Nagamo survives, however, and uses his own unique abilities to grow stronger and make his way out of the dungeon. He encounters and befriends many unique characters as he makes his way across the world to find a way to return to Japan. That's kind of a basic breakdown of the first season, a very basic breakdown. The second season picks up right where the first one left off, with Nagamo adding one of his former classmates to his party, and continuing to make his way through the world conquering other dungeons, and gaining more power in his quest to return home to Japan. He meets a few more characters, meets up with some of the aforementioned demon army, and even takes on the dominant religion of the world he's on. There's action, magic, battles, betrayals, and even a few surprises. Also jokes. There are some jokes sprinkled through here and there. Now, I'm not going to go through every single character in this anime. That would be a very long list and would probably make this video at least 30 minutes long. I'm just going to go through the small group around Nagamo in the interest of keeping things concise. As far as characters go, we should obviously start with Nagamo. I mean, he is the main character after all. The first thing that really comes to mind with Nagamo is OP. I mean, the dude is legitimately overpowered as fuck. I saw a specific sequence in the second to last episode of this season that really spelled it out for me in big, bright red letters. I saw that bit and those were the words that came out of my mouth. Jesus, this dude is so fucking overpowered. I mean, I was laughing a bit at the time when I said it because it is ridiculous how OP Nagamo is. However, one thing I'll say about it is that it very much is a trope in these types of anime to have an OP main character. But at least this one went about it in an interesting way. In the first season, Nagamo legit has to earn his status, right? The subtitle is pretty damned accurate as far as it goes. He rose up from his status as a more commonplace type of character. He went from support to badass, and he legit earned it through his own sweat, blood, and tears. Which is something you don't often see in these types of anime. There was legitimate character growth and even character change as he went through those first few episodes in the labyrinth. He goes from a kind of weak, timid support character to a cold, rather vicious badass. My only real question is his apparently godlike engineering skills. I mean, for real. It'd be difficult enough for a high schooler to figure out the engineering to make a double-action revolver like what he's got. It's something else entirely, I think, to figure out the intricate mechanics of, say, a chain gun or a vehicle. I mean, maybe that's something that the light novels get into a little bit more. I don't know, though. All of that being said, I have to state that I do like Nagamo's overall personality. He's definitely more of that anti-hero type that I often find a little more enjoyable than the more staid, straight-up heroic types. I also enjoy the fact that there are definitely certain characters in the anime, such as the teacher, that can break through his overall misanthropic attitude and get him to do what's obviously the right thing. That's what's called a three-dimensional character, Western writers. The female lead for this anime is Yue. She is a vampire princess whom Nagamo encountered when he was trying to escape his first labyrinth. She's a typical lollybait character, though she's at least 300 years old. In general, she is a kudere type of character, though she's very much warm and affectionate to Nagamo. I'm honestly not that into Yue as a character, though. If I had to put my finger on why, it'd have to be the lolly attributes of her character. Those types of characters, particularly in these types of anime, the overall harem types, always make me just a little uncomfortable, and I'm not that into them. Don't get it twisted. I'm not one of those ravening morons that is going to equate a lolly character with kid touchers or anything. I'm not saying they shouldn't exist. I'm definitely not saying she's literally a child. Not saying anything like that at all. I understand that she's a drawing and not a real child. Hell, she's not even a child within the world of the anime. She's 300 fucking years old. I mean, if anyone in this anime is a kid toucher, it's her. Just saying that I have my preferences, and I'm not that into her or her character type is all. I actually tend to like kudere types in anime though. They can be some of the funniest characters in a comedy anime. Lolly characters just make me a little uncomfortable in harem, or other anime with romantic underpinnings is all. Shia is my favorite character by far in this anime though. She's a bunny girl that Nagamo and Yue encounter shortly after escaping from the initial dungeon. She's lively, bubbly, and just a bit ditzy. She possesses a monstrous amount of physical strength and is a very capable fighter in her own right. She also serves as the comic relief for much of the first season. Thinking about it, I think I just prefer more lively, bubbly characters in my anime, I guess. Then there's Tio. Tio is a dragonborn and she can turn into a big black dragon. I actually really liked her character design a lot. I really like that the creator and artists gave her and her race that traditional Japanese aesthetic. It really fits her character. Personality-wise, she's actually quite knowledgeable and wise, though she's very, very perverted. This has to do with how her and Nagamo first met and how he actually defeated her. If you haven't seen the first season, go ahead and watch that because I'm not getting into it in this video. I will say this about it. It awakened her inner hentai and masochistic tendencies. That is all. She's actually a pretty fun character in her own right, and tends to serve as the comic relief later on in the series, taking Shia's place as the group punching bag, though she enjoys it immensely. So all's good. Kaori is the former classmate of Nagamo who joins the group at the end of the first season. She's a kind, sweet girl who had a big old crush on Nagamo even before he became a badass. She's also a priestess and possesses some strong healing magic. I can't say too much about her, unfortunately, as anything else I could really talk about would invite spoilers for the second season for those who may not have watched it. This anime is primarily a more serious fantasy adventure anime than anything else. It actually can get pretty damn dark at any number of points throughout its run. I think that's part of what I liked about it. That and the initial premise of a little nobody character that has to survive in hellish conditions and to grow stronger in order to do so. I definitely love that idea of him actually earning his monstrous power rather than it being bestowed on him almost from the outset. As I stated near the beginning, there are some more lighthearted moments and jokes sprinkled throughout the anime, usually supplied by the designated comic relief characters to be sure, but they are there. Despite the fact the main character Nagamo is OP as fuck, I'm actually quite liking this story, and I'm very interested in seeing where it goes from here. I do like the artwork and the overall character designs for most of the characters. The teacher's design really throws me off a bit, but the general artwork and character designs are all pretty unique to each character and all depicted very well. There was actually a small forest scene in this season that I thought was absolutely gorgeous. In that vein, the CGI that they use for some of the monsters has definitely improved with this season. Last season, it was kind of trash, and really served to take you out of the whole thing as a viewer. It was pretty fucking laughable. This season it seems to have improved a bit, though I'd honestly rather them use a more hand-drawn technique than CGI for the monsters, as I think it actually looks better. Otherwise, this one is a recommend, and that's all I can say for this one, Goblins. If you'd like, let me know what you think in that handy section down below. While you're down there, maybe you can eat some monster meat and get stronger. Yes, I'm quite aware of what I did there. If you like my ridiculous opinions and you'd like to join my Viridian horde, you can do so by crushing those like and subscribe buttons. Otherwise, I'll see you all tomorrow for another pop culture thing and Friday Night Tights. Thanks for watching. See you then. Lates.